Serious time. We're back. Back in the land that we feel we don't belong, but have been in for a good part of the last 20 years. The series is going to change tack because I've had a long think about this. And with Wednesday actually being in League One now, it doesn't feel right to continue the series starting off from where we were at the start of last season, even though we did well. I've recorded a few more episodes and I didn't have joy or fun doing it because I knew that the real club is in even more of a state. And that's why I am wearing my 10, 11-year-old Wednesday kit, because this kit means a lot to me. It means a lot to Wednesday fans. We're going to talk a bit about the history of Sheffield Wednesday and how we got to where we got to now, which is... So yeah, with Sheffield Wednesday, I'm going to show you now. We're in Sky Bet League One. I'm about to start a new save. A new database has come out. And we're in a league with Accrington, Stanley, AFC Wimbledon, Bolton. Bolton used to be good. Charlton used to be good. And a lot of our fans still believe that Wednesday don't belong here and that we don't deserve to be in this Mickey Mouse League, as they call it, even though we have spent quite a considerable part of the last 20 years there. When I talk to my Dutch football friends and I say, Sheffield Wednesday, they remember the days when they had Luc Nilis, Gilles de Bilde, Wim Jonk, who else was there? There were, just good players that played at a high level in the Dutch league that wanted to play for Sheffield Wednesday. And Wednesday was in the Premiership. So, it was all good. Big club, yeah, absolutely. And then it all went wrong. And it went wrong because the ownership changed to a man called Dave Allen, who's a casino owner in Sheffield and surrounding areas. Absolutely dreadful at running football clubs after he was bought out by Wednesday, which is what we're going to talk about now. But after he was bought out, he took over Chesterfield FC and absolutely ruined that club. I will just, for the sake of it, Chesterfield FC, when I moved to Sheffield, was in the League One, and they are now in League Panorama Nacional. So, we could talk about the merit of this man running football clubs for ages. Simple fact is, when I moved to Sheffield, he was still in charge. The club was in a bad place. It wasn't going well on the pitch. It wasn't going great off the pitch. And then he got bought out. And it wasn't just him. There was a consortium of them. And they got bought out by Milan Mandaric, who consolidated the club. And Milan Mandaric deserves a statue. When he came in, he didn't make any rash promises. He didn't throw loads of money left, right, and centre to fix it. He just put on a footballing cap, brought back people that actually loved the club, that wanted to fight for the club. Gary Maxson being a case in point. The Ginger Ninja brought in Dave Jones, who actually got us back to the Championship, and that's when this shirt came about. So this is a shirt that has the Children's Hospital on it. And that's why a lot of Sheffielders love it. Children's Hospital is one of the best loved hospitals in the country, I would guess. And Sheffielders have a real passion for that hospital. And this shirt raised money for the hospital. In fact, that year I walked around with, buckets trying to raise money just to, support the club and support Sheffield Children's Hospital. Now, I realise this is a bit of a ramble already, because you might already know all this if you're watching Sheffield Wednesday or if you know English football. But we then got bought out by a gentleman called Chansiri. And Devon Chansiri is a Thai multi-millionaire/billionaire, the son of someone who owns, John West Tuna Fisheries and other fishing businesses all over the world. And he came in and he promised the world and threw lots and lots of money at the wrong people. And that is how the club got to where it is now. So in his reign, during his reign, for a while it looked like it was working out. Some good players were brought in, some good managers were brought in. Carlos Carvalhal, for example, was actually a really good signing. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, who's this guy?" And he's come from nowhere. Came with the grace of Jose Mourinho, and actually turned out to be a really good manager. Then he left and went to West Brom in the Premier League. You can't blame him for that. Didn't do anything for them. If he had stayed at Wednesday, he probably would have been a massive club legend by now. But he didn't, and from there on, everything started to crumble. We made some bad choices in recruitment, both managerial and in terms of players, and it's been sliding ever since. Last season, we had 3 managers. Started off with Gary Monk, who frankly should never have been appointed in the first place. Wasn't really a man with a pedigree of getting clubs anywhere where they wanted to be. I might be being harsh here, but he didn't warm anybody at Wednesday, and that proved to be true because he got replaced quite quickly into the season by Tony Pulis. Pulis is, has been who's done nothing since he left Stoke. Should never have left Stoke. And then we got Darren Moore, and bless him, Darren has got Mission Impossible on his hands. And is that Mission Impossible that we are going to be simulating for the rest of this series? Because it's dire. It's dire. I'm going to show you through the first few screens so you have an idea of what's happening. And then the next episode, we're going to talk in more detail about what's going on. So, in true style, one of the things that really frustrates me, and it's true, the game actually reflects this properly, is Chansiri constantly promises entertaining football. You have to play entertaining football. You have to play entertaining football. You can only play entertaining football if you've got the players for it. Play attacking football, yeah. So, this is all accurate. There's nothing wrong with this. He probably does actually expect in real life that Wednesday win the league and get promoted that way. So, yeah, let's have a look at what that looks like. I'm actually going to overwrite my last save because it doesn't serve purpose anymore. And then we're going to have a look. We're going to see what we have left. It's not a lot. It's not pretty at all. So the team currently consists of these players. I've talked about Sam Hutchinson in the run-up to this series anyway. Always injured, always booked. I'm going to have to rely on him now this season, even though he's on 12k, which is possibly too much, but he's going to have to, do something for me. Massimo Luongo could be a decent player. At League One, to be fair, he probably is a decent player. Dominic Jorfa, still our best player, was last season and will be going into this season, but that is tempting, and I will talk about that later. But we're now actually in a position where we have to rely on people like Andre Green, who's not bad. You can definitely do something with Andre Green, but he's got to grow, he's got time to develop. We're going to have to rely on Fisidela Bashiru. We're going to have to rely on, who else have we got as a youngster? Kieran Brennan. In the previous save, I got rid of Kieran Brennan because he wasn't good enough then. He's not good enough now. Alex Hunt, who could become something, but I'm not sure. Ryan Galvin, backup left back. He's going to have to be my starting left back again. We'll talk about why in a minute. And then we've still got Julian Burner and Callum Patterson. So this is the squad. And I'm not even joking when I say that. If we go to the development centre, under 23s, we've got a few players here that we could push up. So we've got Liam Waldock. We've got Correa Arionin, who's actually come in this season, I believe. We've got Josh Render as a backup goalkeeper. And then Declan Thompson, who could do something, and Charles Hagan, who could do something. The rest of these players, they're all young. They're not likely to go anywhere other than out of the club at some point. And then we don't have an under 18s anymore. But we've got to develop players through the youth setup. Now, this is because the database. I know the club actually still has a youth system. But it's not a youth system that's produced anything for ages. So let's just ignore that. I've talked about that in length anyway. But now we're in a position where we have to, and this is basically what it looks like. This is our squad for League One, because financially we have no wiggle room whatsoever. So, and again, this is probably very realistic. The club got relegated. We got rid of some of those big wages that I got rid of in the run-up to this series. You know, I don't know where to start. I don't even know. And I've tried this because I've played this safe before, or at least, you know, had a look at what we were having to deal with. We can put together a tactic, and that'll be it. And if any player gets injured, we are screwed. And this team is expected to win League One. So that's what we're up to. That's what building the future is going to be about. I am Dr. Klumber. This was a rather serious in-between episode. Don't worry, the next one will be light-hearted, as always, trying to make sense of this enormous mess. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.